Alright, you guys know the drill already. Time to rank the top 5 best Danganronpa executions in V3. And if you want to see the other 2 videos, then click the link in the description below. But not before you watch this video. So with that said, let's get into the video. Coming in at number 5, and the worst Danganronpa execution in V3, it's Wild West Insecticide. And I really hate putting this execution low because Gonta is one of my favorite characters, and the trial is one of my favorites in the entire series. But sadly, this execution was kind of dumb. The execution is set in the Wild West, which I really don't understand why they put Gonta in the Wild West. Maybe there's something I'm not remembering about Gonta, but it feels kind of out of place. And then the main part of the execution is a huge bug is birthed by Monophony. Please don't ask. And then stabs Gonta before Monokuma lights him on fire. Like I said, it's kinda dumb. It feels all over the place. Almost nothing that happens here has any cohesion or relations whatsoever. I honestly would have liked it if the whole execution was focused on Gonta being driven into despair because he's not a gentleman and he then dies afterwards. I think that would have been way more effective and sad because that's all he ever wanted to be in the entirety of V3. So coming in at number 4, we have Cultural Melting Pot. Okay, so let me get this straight. My man gets spun around like a Beyblade, then dropped into a cooking pot before being boiled to death, and then after he dies and meets with his sister, Monokuma goes after him like he's John Wick just to throw some salt on him to prevent him from seeing his sister, and it basically gets with his sister, and there's nothing he can do about it. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Now I want to say that any of these executions, besides Gonta, can be at number 1 for a number of reasons, but at number 3 we have Blast Off Second Ignition, and this was really hard to do because I really like this execution. It's with one of my favorite characters in Kaito, and the trial was really sad. It's also one of the only executions where it didn't end the way that Monokuma wanted it to, and the execution is really cool overall. So many things were set up for this exact moment throughout the entire story. Kaito and Kokichi being at odds when it comes to their morals, Kaito's illness, Kaito and his friendship with Maki and Shuichi, and then going to space before he dies. There's really nothing bad to say about it, but the other executions are just a little bit better in my opinion, so I had to put it at number 3. At number 2, we have Dirt Floor Walzer. And when you talk about a brutal execution, this is one of the most brutal things anyone can go through. But I think the reason this execution is effective is because it's Kaede that's being executed. For the first execution in every game so far, it's been a character that hadn't had too much of an impact. Leon wasn't a main character, and although Teruteru tried to help the group, he didn't make as big of an impact like Kaede did. Kaede was the person who tried to inspire the group, which is why it hurt that much more when she was the killer. Even the players felt that way. A lot of people who played didn't expect the twist to happen, which made the death that much more effective. It's not just because she was the main character, but also because she's the last person you would expect to kill someone, which is why it's one of the saddest deaths in the entire series. However, although it's one of the saddest executions, it still doesn't come in at number 1. And my favorite execution of all time is A Strand of Agony. I think this execution does everything right. It's a brutal execution, and even with all the pain that Kirumi is having to endure, she continues to climb in order to get to her people. And just like Chiaki's execution, Please Insert Coin, it's an execution where you hope Kirumi gets out alive, but you know she's gonna die, which fills you with despair. For a Danganronpa execution, it should make you feel a bit of hope for the person going through the execution. That's why Chiaki's death in the anime is so impactful. Everyone is hoping she gets out alive, but when she doesn't, it pushes everyone into despair. This execution does that the best, because even when there's a new obstacle, she continues to push on, not only making you respect her determination, but also feel bad when in the end, it doesn't even matter. And yes, that was a Linkin Park reference, leave me alone. This is also a good way to see who Kirumi really is. In her last moment, she continues to fight so she can help her nation, and it allows her to push beyond her limits and try to help them. She's putting them before herself, and unlike most people that commit murder in Danganronpa, they tend to do it for themselves. I can go on and on about why this execution is so good, but I think you guys get the point. And again, there are reasons for some of the other executions being at number 1. Kirumi's execution is just the one that stands out to me. But hey, let me know your list down below. And if you guys want to see more Danganronpa content, let me know by subscribing and liking the video. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.